I had a post and I said that you all could leave comments and ask me whatever you all wanted and I would answer them in a vlog. And I realized today that that probably wasn't a very good idea because even though it sounds like it would be fun, vlogging is so hard and I don't like it at all. So I'm going to do this because I promised you all I would, but don't expect very many vlogs from me in the future. So I'll just go ahead and get right to the questions. And the first one is, if you could, what would you change your name to? And I wouldn't change my name, but because I really like Emily. But I guess if I had to, I don't know, I might say Callie, just because it sounds cool. So the second question is, what is on your life bucket list? And number one is to own a Nikon D3. That is my dream camera. I really, really want it. I mean, oh my word, you have no idea how much I want this camera. I think about it, I dream about it, I think about it all day long. It's really kind of crazy. Number two would probably be to meet Caitlin James from Caitlin James Photography. She is like the best photographer in the world, and the best thing is she only lives like 2 hours away from me, and even though she probably does not know that I exist, I follow every blog post. I love all of her pictures. She's the best photographer in the world, and I would love to meet her. I mean, that would just, my word, that would make my life. Another thing that I really want to do is get married and have kids. I really want to have a family, and I know that that's not like a really popular thing, but that's something that I really, really, really want. Okay, the third question is, what is your favorite book and movie? And I think that's a funny question because obviously it's The Hunger Games. I mean, I blog about it, I pin The Hunger Games, The Hunger Games is all over my Tumblr. I mean, I love The Hunger Games. So that is definitely my favorite book and my favorite movie. The next question is, what is your favorite drink? And I would have to say that my favorite drink is probably water. And I used to not like it very much, but a few months ago I started making myself like drink 5 tumblers of water a day, and gradually I started to like it more and more and more. And now I crave it more. Like if we're having tea for supper, sometimes I'll have tea, but most of the time I just want water, and that's it. So that's probably my favorite drink. Next question is, do you want a big family when you get married? And I'd have to say it depends on what a big family is, because people think that my family of 6 is a lot, and it's really not. So I don't know. I mean, a big family like mine, I really like how big my family is, and I like that it's all girls. But I would not want a family as big as the Duggars, and not that their family is bad at all. I love to watch their show, but I don't know if I could handle that many kids. Next question is, who inspired you to blog? And I'd have to say there were 3 people that inspired me. But first would be Davine from Davine Spilled, which used to be Life on Sylvan Drive, and that was the blog that I was reading when I first started reading her blog. And hers was the very first blog that I ever read, and I didn't know what a blog was. But anyway, so I started reading her blog and I really liked it. And then Kate and Mom, they got a blog, so I decided, well, I need a blog too. So I got one, and obviously I've kept up blogging more than they have. Okay, the next question is, what is the farthest place away from home you've been to? And I'm really not sure. It's either Kentucky or Ohio. I'm not sure where we went that was farthest away, but I pretty much stick around Harrisonburg. I know Kentucky or Ohio is not that far away. It only takes like 8 hours to get there from here. But I really wish that I could go farther away, but I just haven't really had the chance. Miss Emily K asked, do you have a Formspring? Yes, I do, and my username is Emily Sacra, or formspring.me.emilysacra.com. So if you want to ask me questions on there, I'll try to answer them, and thank goodness, because I won't have to do a vlog through those. Marianne asked, how did you first become interested in photography? And honestly, I'm not quite sure when my photography journey began. It was probably close, in between 2008 to 2009. I started taking pictures because I wanted to post pictures on my blog because that's what everybody else was doing. So I took our little Fujifilm FinePix camera, and it's like this tiny little silver camera and takes terrible pictures, but I loved it because it captured the moment, and that's basically all I needed it for. So I would run around the house and just snap pictures and post them on my blog, and it was the coolest thing ever. And they weren't anything special, but I didn't need them to be special. I just needed pictures to post on my blog. But then in the summer of 2009, that camera crashed, and so I was forced to look for another camera, and I found a video camera that we had, and I realized that it had a camera setting, which is terrible. But I started taking pictures with it, and I was like, oh my word, these pictures are really good. They were not, but I thought they were. I thought they were the best thing ever. So I really, really liked those pictures, so I wanted to start taking more pictures and getting better at those, and so that's kind of how it all started. So then I realized that that camera was really stinky and that I needed a new one. So Kate let me have her old Sony Cybershot, and that was thebomb.com. I mean, really. I thought those pictures were great too. And I finally outgrew that camera, and then in June of 2010 I got my Canon 30D, which is still a fantastic camera, but as I wrote in a post a while ago, I cannot wait for my Nikon D3, but I'm trying to appreciate the Canon that I still have. So I have learned a lot in the last 4 years about photography, and it has all been trial and error, and I've just had so much fun with it, and I can't wait to see what my photography looks like in another 4 years. Marianne also asked, what do you want to do after you graduate high school? And I basically want to do exactly what I'm doing now. I have absolutely no desire to go to college and rack up some debt, because that doesn't interest me at all. And for those people that do want to go to college, I mean, that's fine. That's just not for me at all. I want to continue on as a photographer, and if I had to, I would go to college to learn more about photography, but I really don't think I have to, because I can just continue as I'm doing now and still learn a lot. My dream is to photograph weddings, mostly with portraits, like seniors and engagements and stuff like that on the side. But weddings are what I really, really want to do. And I feel kind of bad because that's not what I'm doing now, even though I know that's what I love and that's really what I want to do. But I do know that that will come, and I'll be able to photograph weddings sometime soon. Hope asked, what do you think about homeschooling? And I think that there are some good things and there are some bad things about it. My family does a really good job with homeschooling. Kate and Jenny have graduated already. They were only homeschooled for a few years, but yeah, I think there are good and bad things about it. My main concern with being homeschooling was that I would have to wear matching clothes with my siblings, and that we would be socially awkward, and so far that hasn't happened, so that's a good thing. I think we're a pretty normal homeschool family. But seriously, why would I want to go to a real school and sit for 8 hours in a desk, and when I could be home learning useful things like completing school in an hour tops and pursuing my dream of photography? And I mean, so in that sense, real school doesn't really make sense to me. But I know that it does fit some people in homeschooling. Like, Jenny hated homeschooling, and that's fine. And I don't really love homeschooling myself, but I like it a whole lot more than if I would be going to school. I'm just not a huge fan of school in general, so I guess that's my problem. Hope also asked, what is your dream lens? And I would have to say the 24-70 is basically heaven. I mean, I use that sometimes when I'm shooting with the Rothwells on their Nikon D3s, so I'm not sure if it's the lens or the camera or both, but I don't even care because I love that thing. I mean, I've always wanted a wide-angle lens, and it's perfect. I absolutely love this lens. She also asked, why and when did you first start vlogging? And I started blogging because I have this major obsession with wanting my grandkids to know more about me. I mean, it's really, really weird. But it grew into something a whole lot more than that. It helped me to realize my passion, to grow up as photography, and to grow as a person, and to branch out and meet lots of other wonderful people around the world that I would have no chance of meeting here. And that means I'm talking to you, Sarah Ann. Sarah Ann from Simply Sarah Ann and I have become really good friends over the last year or so. And we've sent things back and forth, and I just absolutely cannot wait to meet her. She is one of those few bloggers that I just want to meet so badly. And once I get my license in July, hopefully soon, we can have a road trip. And she only lives in North Carolina, so that's pretty close. So hopefully we can meet up sometime soon. Alright, what inspired you to do photography? Well, like I said, I started taking pictures and I thought that they were fantastic, and then I wanted to get better. But I mostly saw images that I liked, and I wanted to recreate them. But then when I couldn't, I tried to figure out why, and in that process, I found that I really, really love photography. Who's your favorite superhero? Okay, Jenny will probably get really mad at me for saying this, but I would probably have to say Captain America. Jenny is a huge fan of his, and I like him mostly because of his character. Even though Iron Man is probably number 2, Iron Man is really cocky, and I don't know, he's really cool, but I just like how Captain America is so nice and such a gentleman. So he's probably my favorite. So Jenny, please don't kill me. So those are all the questions, and I hope you enjoyed this vlog, because I certainly did not. I hate vlogging. But I do hope that you enjoyed it, and leave a comment and tell me what you think. Bye!